U.S. Marshal is apparently also involved in this investigation. Is that
active shooter protocol, which has arisen from all of these shootings that you refer to across the country, that they now have a protocol that they follow, and the FBI, the ATF, and the U.S. Marshal Service rushed to the scene of this incident and offered assistance to local police. The U.S. Marshal would be if there was a fugitive, if there was a suspect that got away and they needed to be tracked down.
Now, Pat, we're also standing by for a press conference to learn much more about the situation. It will actually be the first one, at the first time that we'll be hearing from officials, aside from tweets and some of the information that has been passed down to us by our sources. We're hearing some information about a 6-year-old who was shot 4 times and who is now in surgery. Also learning that the pastor's daughter, the pastor of this church, his wife, has confirmed that their 14-year-old daughter was shot and killed in this situation. What do you think we're going to learn, and what's the most important information that the public can get now from this press conference?
Well, our law enforcement sources have told us that at least 15 people were shot, but they also said those were very preliminary early numbers and that those numbers should be increasing considerably. We don't know of those 15 that were shot how many are deceased and how many are injured. We also don't know how many of them are children. You referenced the 6-year-old and the 14-year-old. We don't know how many other were children. We just know that this man sprayed bullets throughout this church.
And Pat, just a final question for you before we have to toss over to our affiliate there. We have seen situations like this. We have seen these stories. Now that we have the gunman now dead, not sure if it was a self-inflicted wound there or if he was shot by police, where does the investigation go now that they may have the suspect?
Well, I think it'll go in many directions. They'll be tracking what his social media was, what his cell phone numbers were. They're trying to dig in and find out what a motive is, whether there was some kind of domestic terrorism, whether there was international terrorism, whether there was a domestic dispute, an argument in the workplace. They don't know what motivated that, and that's key to finding out what happened here.
Yeah, let's hope we can sort of learn a motive sometime soon. Not sure if that'll happen because we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. Pat Milton, she is a senior producer with CBS News' investigation unit. Pat, thank you. Always good to speak with you. We're going to turn it over now to our CBS affiliate there in San Antonio, KENS 5, for their reporting. They are in wall-to-wall coverage. Pat, thank you. Let's listen in.
The tough part about my job is being able to ask someone, if they understandably so, of what just happened. And so a lot of them, what they were able to tell me, I spoke to an associate pastor who had been at the First Baptist Church for 12 years and moved to another congregation just down the road. He had said that this was just, there's really no words to understand what was going on. Devastating is really all he said, and just a state of shock. But what I can tell you, what I was able to witness, is that a lot of the surrounding communities, pastors, religious leaders from different congregations here in that particular small community, they certainly rallied to that spot, whether they brought their Bibles, they brought their prayer books, and that's exactly what you saw outside the community center. A lot of people holding hands, very much devastated, and just praying, whether it be outside and inside. And this is certainly something that you don't expect to see in this small community. And so it was really tough for a lot of them to describe to me what they were seeing. How could they cope with something like this to happen in what we've been saying, small town America, in a population where, you know, this type of church, they all knew each other. This is exactly, these are not just strangers that they go to church with every Sunday. These are loved ones. These are family members. These are neighbors. These are people that they grew up with. And so when they rushed to that scene, they were able to see a lot of their loved ones, and so it was hard for them to even understand, and when I was able to speak with them, what was going on.
Henry, stand by for us if you could. I understand that we also have some sound from a neighbor and also some sound from a pastor. Let's go to that if we could.
I've been going to this church since I was knee-high to a duck, so it's pretty tragic. Really don't know. I'm about in the dark as everybody because I changed my mind to go to church today, and so did my daughter.
How many people do you think would be in church on an ordinary day like today?
40.
About 40?
So about half our church members are gone. Yeah.
What are you hearing in terms of numbers?
Anywhere between 15 to 20.
Including children?
Oh, many children that were sitting with their families.
Everybody in that church. Yes. Yeah, well, I know everybody in there. I mean, our churches work together. You know, we go to lunch with the pastor, Pastor Frank Pomeroy is a pastor there. He and his wife Sherry were not there today. They are on their way back, from what I have heard, and but some of their family members are here. So we're waiting for him to get back. Some of the I couldn't tell you where that is. I don't know. I don't remember where they were at.
They were out of town, though.
They were out of town.